Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence. Welcome to Employee Resources Credit Union, where you're more than just a number, you're family. We provide financial solutions that rise above those of traditional banks. With roots stretching back to 1964, we've served 4 generations during constant industry changes. We're known for our low fees and incredible rates. Join us and experience the credit union difference. ERCU, not for profit, for service.
LUS is committed to our customers, from providing and maintaining energy-efficient utility services to friendly, helpful customer service. LUS is there. At LUS, we're always challenging everything we know, every day. We strive to improve efficiency and reliability while focusing on our responsibility to our customers and the community. It's our promise to provide dependable service to our customers every time. Because we don't just work in Lawrence County, we live here too.
Shop McMaster's Home Gallery for furniture, appliances, and more. And shop quality, shop convenience, shop service, shop local. A family-owned business with a long history of serving the region. We're a one-stop home furnishings destination. We feature brands you know, competitively priced, backed by professional installation and service. You can trust that we'll take good care of you before and after the sale. For your home, shop smart. Shop McMaster's Home Gallery today.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome everybody here to X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. AJ Good here with Michael Marks. And Mike, we are believe it or not, we are going into the final full week, the regular season in high school baseball, high school softball. Temperatures here in the high 60s, low 70s. It feels like we're just kicking into spring, but in all reality, we're just ending it.
Yeah.
we're really just ending it, at least in the high school sports schedule-wise.
Yeah, and it's really exciting the last couple of weeks because this is when district tournaments get figured out. That final seeding, and especially in districts as good as the ones our teams around here are in. This last week is actually going to be very, very pivotal.
Yeah, it's big. We've got who's going to host district tournaments is on the line. Starting first with with your region or your district there. Loretto's right now number 1. Number 2 is going to be fought out between Forest and Summertown. However, Summertown sweeps Forest, which could happen. It's not it's not a slam dunk.
Yes,
but it could happen. That can, if they sweep them, that could really mix up some things. But we do know either way, someone in Lawrence County is going to be hosting that tournament.
Yes.
It just muddles some things up if Summertown sweeps Forest.
Yeah, I would say obviously it would switch some things up if Summertown does sweep Forest because, again, Loretto and Summertown split in the regular season. But I would say the Summertown Forest series this week is going to be very big. I would say Summertown's pitching has really come along the last couple of weeks. Forest bats had a rough go of it against the Mustangs, so it's going to be curious to see how those two teams come out.
Yeah, and you start off in Summertown tonight, which they've shut out their last 2 district opponents.
Yes.
there, so it certainly could set up pretty good. If their pitching has been really good during those district games, could be a big one tonight. You've seen Forest and you've seen Summertown. How does this night one?
Honestly, I'm a little unsure because, like you mentioned, Summertown's pitching has been really good. Well, Forest is up there with Loretto as top pitching staff in district. Out as a whole in the district, not just in district play. And again, Forest and Summertown, the top two in offensive wise. So I'm really unsure of how this game is going to go because Game 1, Loretto Forest was a low-scoring game. Game 2 was a little higher scoring. But Summertown's pitching has been so good at home that, if they get 2 or 3 runs, they honestly feel pretty comfortable. So I would say I would lean towards Summertown tonight, but obviously with this being such a touch-and-go district, you really can't tell.
Yeah, a lot of things can happen. You got to play the games. They're catching Loretto right now. That's how things are shaping up to be. So a lot of things can certainly happen there. Before we talk about what's going to happen here at Tom Cruise Field, you had 2 completely different baseball games. Friday, Loretto dominated. Hats off, won the game. We're the better team. They come over here. It's Johnny Holstaff games for both teams. Both teams' offense is exploding. You have these kind of swings of momentum, and at the end, you get extra innings. You're playing a Major League Baseball long. Well, not necessarily long for Major League Baseball. 3-hour, 15-minute game.
I would say that's about a regular game for them.
It's about normal without the pitch clock. And then here comes Jake Moore.
Yes.
Crushes one to left field, and the Wildcats go 5-1 against their rivals.
Yeah, it was really exciting. The game on Saturday, I'd say Friday not necessarily as exciting for the people in purple and gold. The people in the black and gold definitely enjoyed it, but Saturday was a very exciting game. The first two innings were very quick. And then Lawrence County got that offense going, and then Loretto had a 5-run 5th inning, able to tie it back up, took the lead in the 6th, surrendered it in the 7th, and then Jake Moore, probably the hottest bat for Lawrence County that day, came up with the game on the line, and like you said, hit a home run. I mean, it was a very exciting game. He had 3 hits coming into that at-bat, so he kind of had a feeling that something was going to happen there, and he sent one for a ride.
And they get the 20 wins on the year, which is it's where this program was 4 years ago when Clint Wright took it over, to where they barely won 3 games, and all 3 of those wins came within the span of 2 weeks. Didn't win any games within the district, almost won one in the district tournament, and then next year, they get into the district championship game next year, win the district championship. And now they've got a chance to host. They got I don't like to say the worst team, but Marshall County's 0-6.
Yes.
Then the district. They have played some teams pretty tough. When you look up and down, Franklin County only beat them 5-2, 4-2. Tullahoma 2-0, 10-0. And you look at their games against Giles County lost 6-3 and 8-7. They're not exactly getting blown out outside of one game against Tullahoma, so this is going to be a pretty good test for this Lawrence County.
I bet saying the top seed versus the bottom seed are always such strange games, but because obviously you think it should be one way, but I would say you look at those scores, and it's the same way with community in the Loretto and Summertown district, that they may be at the bottom there and their record may not look great, but they're not getting blown out of games. They're right there in them. So you got to bring your A game, and if not, you're liable to get upset.
Yeah, it's you can't have a rough Monday like they did last Monday. You got to come out and play well. But the Lady Cats have after a big win against Marshall County last week, they're on the road. They're hosting their district tournament in 2 weeks because they got some games next week. Lawrence County, the way it looks, I think if they split, no matter what, they're going to host. But if they sweep, they guarantee will host. And 3 of our 4 tournaments will be right here in this county.
Yeah, and that's super exciting. Obviously, we talked about how much traveling we were having to do during basketball. Baseball is a sport where you can kind of control your own destiny throughout the regular season, and our local teams so far have quote unquote not let us down.
No, and it's just to see where this team has been, man.
Yeah,
and how they've just overcome, how they've done some good things, and they were down early against Summertown, come back and score 6 unanswered. Case Chapman, six really good outside of the first inning. They started warming up guys in the first inning, and then he throws 5 shutout innings after that. I think where he retired 14 or 15 straight, 67 pitches in 6 innings, and it's starting to turn out the way in a good way for them, Mike, where, okay, yeah, you got your Monday and your Tuesday guy, but okay, well, Case Chapman's kind of turning it. After that game, pitching performance against a good Summertown team, we'll see what happens. I think they got another game coming up after, I'm not sure when. We'll keep everyone posted when that happens. But, they need to develop a third guy. Case Chapman might be that guy. Landon Bracey might be that guy. Jack Story might be that guy. You've got options just in case.
Yeah, and that's what I love about these later in the season, later week games, especially against rivals, because you're going to get somebody that's throwing their best. And obviously on Friday, the arms weren't excellent for Lawrence County. Story had a bit of a rough start, but on Saturday, Logan Clayton did really good. Trent Waller had a rough start, or a rough performance out of the bullpen, but he's been pretty consistently good this year. Landon Bracey looked good. Jack Emerson came out of the bullpen through a couple innings, looked really confident up there, had a good fastball. So, I would say if Lawrence County is able to develop, like you mentioned, just one or two more guys that you feel confident throwing out there to start a game, that does wonders for you in the postseason.
Especially you get in these playoff games. It's all hands on deck.
Yes.
It really is. Switching now over to high school softball, and looks like the district is, even though the district's going to run through Lawrence County here, the district on the other side might have to run through community. I know Summertown's got them later this week.
On Tuesday, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So they got to go there. They win there. That might.
It could definitely help things.
That could really make some interesting tiebreakers coming up.
Yeah, and we talked about it last week. It was a tough loss for Summertown, but now they've seen them once and are going to be able to make the travel to community to see what they got tomorrow, and it's going to be a very, very interesting game.
Yeah, Lawrence County, Loretto tonight. Lawrence County won there. Loretto's got to come over here, and then. Lawrence County's off for the week as far as district games go, but after this, Loretto's got a couple district games. Yeah,
I would say it's going to be a tough week for Loretto, obviously. I was looking at the wrong schedule. Do have Cascade at home on Tuesday, then travel to Summertown on Thursday. So 2 rivalry games this week on the road, both at Lawrence County and Summertown. It's going to be a tough week.
yeah. It's not a schedule for the week.
No.
That's for sure. Mike, let's get over into some college sports. Good weekend for UT Southern baseball. They wrapped up their home games. They took 2 out of 3 from Burton and Parker. They're kind of firmly in that middle with the conference tournament coming up next week. Softball, tough. They lost a tough series against Mobile, but then William Carey, top team in the league, comes in and they split with them. Win the second game 1-0. Their pitcher Ella Singletary throws a complete game 3-hit shutout against one of the best offenses in the country. So, their conference tournaments are coming up. Things are shaping up not too bad for both of those sides.
Yeah, UT Southern softball had a rough couple of weeks, but again, able to get that game on Saturday afternoon against William Carey. A good win there. And both teams above 500 heading into conference tournament play, so it's going to be very exciting to see what the teams over in Pulaski are able to do.
Yeah, and the softball team will wrap up. They got senior day against Blue Mountain Christian.
Yes.
Think about it, Saturday. Games 2 and 4, weather depending on that. And then baseball's got a road series to wrap up the regular season. And then I'm not sure where softball plays their tournament. I do know baseball plays at the Rockabillies over there in Jackson, Tennessee. So there's some good baseball teams in that league. If you guys want to go on over to Jackson for a little bit and watch some good baseball here in a couple weeks, it'll be over there for you. UNA, hard to believe, Mike. They're under 500 overall in the year, but they're 11-7 in the A-Sun. They just took 2 out of 3 from Lipscomb, and they are currently the top team in the gold division in the A-Sun right now.
Yeah,
this program was 2 years ago when Jad Prakniak took over it to where it is right now. It is night and day.
Yeah, it's been an incredible season for UNA, obviously, and had a rough weekend against Lipscomb, but it seems like they have really figured things out. Obviously, got a weekend sweep against Austin Peay the weekend before, and things are definitely starting to take shape.
Yeah, and on the softball side, UNA's on the top of the gold division as well. They just picked up a nice little weekend sweep against Austin Peay, I believe. Yeah, it was Austin Peay, because you play everybody within your division,
yes,
home and away. That's how the A-Sun works. So Man, 31-12 overall, second best record. The best record is North Florida's 33-16, but they're 8-10 on the other side. But 31-12 overall, tough loss at Ole Miss, but then they come back and sweep Austin Peay to make their lives a little better here. Their conference tournament's looming as well.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, they've been playing really good as of late. And you look at some of their losses; they're playing midweek games against SEC schools. You know, a loss to Ole Miss in a game that went into 8 innings. A loss to Alabama. 2 losses to Ole Miss. But this is a team trying to make a run here in the postseason. And how do you do it? You got to play bigger conference opponents and prove that you can stick around with them. And I think that this team's done that this year.
Yeah, Mike. Moving on to your old stomping grounds in Knoxville, and just when you thought this team got some momentum, they sweep Mississippi State, then they come home, and Ole Miss gets them 7-4, 8-1, but you do salvage Sunday 13-5.
Yeah, the offense showed up on Thursday, and that kind of is where the problem started. You mentioned it, 7-4 on Friday night, 8-1 on Saturday, and that was a game that was knotted up. It was still scoreless going into the 7th. Again, it was a rough weekend for the bullpen again. But again, the bats did come alive on Sunday. You had Blake Grimmer with a 3-home-run day. Levi Clark hit 2, and it was the first time you'd had multiple guys hit home runs in the same game, I believe, in 2 or 3 seasons. So. Starting to trend in the right direction. Obviously, a tough series loss, but this is an Ole Miss team that's been playing their best ball the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and coming up next, you get Lipscomb on Tuesday, and then Bama comes to town.
Yeah, and Alabama, another team, talk about playing really good in the SEC. I believe had a loss this past weekend to Texas, so they're going to be looking to bounce back. So you're definitely going to have your hands full Thursday, Friday, Saturday with Alabama coming to town.
And you look at the standings, Georgia 13-5, A&M should be 13-5. I know they had a game rained out against Texas, and Texas in there 11-6, and you got Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Auburn, Oklahoma, and Florida 10-8, Bama, Arkansas, Vandy 9-9, Kentucky, Tennessee 8-10, and then LSU, South Carolina, Missouri.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to look up and say, hey, we're halfway through, or a little bit over halfway through conference play. Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, LSU, all 500 or below in conference play. It's almost kind of like we have a new SEC. Georgia obviously having a great season. Texas A&M's really come out of nowhere. Michael Early and his staff have done a really good job. Yeah. Texas and Mississippi State kind of expected, obviously well-known head coaches. But I mean, you look at teams that are as good as Auburn and Oklahoma that are right there just above 500 in conference play, and that tells you exactly how tough this league is.
Yeah, Tennessee softball had the weekend off, probably much needed. Got Radford coming up this week, and you look at the top of that league, it is a murderer's row. Alabama, Oklahoma, A&M, and Florida. Yeah, Bama and Oklahoma tied 15-3. A&M's 14-4. Florida's 16-5, and Tennessee 12-6 right now. So they get Radford, and then they get 3 against Bama in Knoxville. Wow, that's crazy. You get Bama softball and baseball. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Some weekends it does seem like it aligns that way, where the road trips do line up, but must be some sort of maybe a conference rivalry type of weekend where you have a bunch of big matchups. Their series
is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, where baseball's Friday through Sunday. So it's kind of crazy how all that shapes up. Well, Mike, we got NHL playoffs got kicked off this weekend. Right now, when you look at the West, the Avalanche took Game 1 from the Kings. Wild. Took Game 1 from the Stars. You got the Golden Knights, Game 1 over the Mammoth. Game 1 with the Oilers and the Ducks is tonight in the East. Great comeback by Buffalo. They were down 2-0 under 7 minutes left in the third period and just exploded for 4 goals in the final 7 minutes. Montreal leads the Canadiens 1-0. Carolina over the Senators 1-0. No shock there. And then, the Flyers have caught fire at the right freaking time, and they're up 1-0 on the Penguins right now. But these games have just, we've had, the Hurricanes and the Senators literally had a fight at puck drop in Game 1. I
was about to say, really, other than the Minnesota and Dallas, every other game was relatively close within and the Sharks and the Jets on Thursday. But most of the games have been close here in the first couple of rounds, the first round. So really exciting matchups, kind of curious to see what happens for Game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got a lot of these teams back in action again. The Ducks and the Oilers will kick off their series tonight. They're a little bit behind. Excuse me, a little bit behind everybody in the NBA. Thunder over the Suns, not a shocker. Lakers leading the Rockets, a little bit of a shocker there.
Yeah,
I would say. Denver over Minnesota, that was a series a lot of people are looking forward to. The Spurs up on the Trailblazers going to the East. Pistons over the Magic, not a shocker.
Orlando took Game 1.
That's right.
Yeah,
I just read it wrong. My bad. Yeah,
I would say the Magic. Yeah. I would say their starting five had a great game, and for Detroit just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, better wake up, boys.
Yeah.
Cleveland dominated the Raptors, the Knicks with the lead over the Hawks, and then Boston with the lead over the Celtics. So.
Yeah, I would say it was really nice to see Boston get things back going, and obviously to have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown back for the playoffs, it's a huge lift for that team. And they kind of looked at themselves as kind of left for dead this season. Coming in, obviously you didn't think you were going to get Tatum back this early, and getting him back, I think is going to be huge for a big playoff run for them, because I think the East is as open as any conference in any professional sport right now.
You pretty much just took the words out of my mouth. The East is it's wide open. Anything could happen here. The West can somewhat be a little bit chalk in the first round. Maybe the first two rounds. I think once you get into actually maybe more the first round. I think once you get into the conference semifinals, things are going to get a little bit more hazy there as far as the chalk goes.
Yeah, I would say it was really surprising to see the Lakers take Game 1 over the Rockets. I figured the Rockets would have the youth, but
yeah,
I mean, I hate to say it, but you almost can't count LeBron out when he gets to the playoffs.
The whole KD burner skit, that's kind of taking a lot of people out of it.
Yeah, and it's just really strange. And obviously, he didn't play Game 1. I'm not sure what his status is looking like for Game 2, but it's going to be a tough series for Houston without Kevin Durant. I mean, obviously, that not much of a shock there that you're going to struggle without your best player. Not sure how long he is. I would say he's expected to return tomorrow, so we'll see how that actually slates out for the Rockets.
When we look at Major League Baseball right now, Mike, the East has got some. I mean, the East, the National League has got some really, really good teams right now. The West is loaded with the Dodgers, Padres, and the Diamondbacks. Everyone in the Central has a win. The top team in the Central is separated by only a game and a half from the two bottom teams in the Central. They're all with winning records. And then the Braves have the
only winning record in the National League East.
Yeah, and they have the second best record in all of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, they only have one more loss than the Dodgers. Yeah. The entire National League feels like it has been off to a hot start. And then you look at the American League, and the Yankees are in first at 13-9. The Guardians have gotten back up in first at 13-10. The West is a mess, though. I mean, you got Texas, I guess Sacramento, the Athletics, and then the Angels and the Mariners, all kind of, and even Houston, all at 500 or below. Boston obviously hasn't figured anything else out yet. No shocker there, but man, I think the biggest shock of this early season has been Atlanta. I mean, they have come out and hit the ground running. It's been really impressive.
Them and the Cubs have the longest winning streak right now at 5 apiece. And then, sorry, Frank, but the Mets meltdown. It's just they've lost. They started 7-4, kind of challenging the Braves a little bit. Again, it's early. We're playing 162 of these things. Most teams are just 22, 23 games into this. The Red Sox won their Boston Marathon game.
Yes,
earlier today at Detroit, right? They beat Detroit, but they've lost 11 in a row.
Yeah.
And of all the division races I'm looking at right now, they are the furthest behind anyone in any division, 8 games back of Atlanta.
It's crazy that you're 8 games back and you're only halfway through April. But, the Mets, like you mentioned, they just had a rough go of it. Obviously, you have that series where you get swept by the Pirates, which isn't great. But, the month of April has definitely not been kind to that other team in New York, It's just not been good for the Mets. And you look at their lineup and the guys they have on the team, and you just see the names. You're like, okay, Francisco Lindor, Marcus Semien, Bo Bichette, these guys should be good. And you look and, batting 205, 217 here, 234 here, and it's like, guys, you're not helping yourself out any at all.
No, not at all. But Mike, let's get to what everyone came here for.
Yes.
Let's go to our WrestleMania reviews. Just overall, just overall thoughts of the whole weekend, 2-night thing.
I enjoyed it. Obviously, the match length has been something that a lot of people have talked about. But if you just look, given the time constraints they had, and given the matches that we were given, I think they hit it out of the park. Yeah. Honestly, Night 1 obviously wasn't as popular with most people because of the short matches, but honestly, like I said, given the time, I think they were good matches. I think the Usos and the Vision one was fun. You had Speed take that crazy spot off the table, and then you get to the unsanctioned match, and I think without it being kind of a bloody mess, it worked. It was violent. It had the toolbox and the wrenches and stuff like that. It was fun. I enjoyed most of the stuff from Night 1, and then Night 2 was
incredible.
Awesome. It felt like what we had got in the past 4 or 5 WrestleManias where you could tell it was going to be a big night.
Night 1 felt like a really good episode of Raw or SmackDown. And the commercials were an issue. I mean, we don't have to watch the Hulk Hogan documentary series because they played pretty much the whole thing. Yeah, there in Night 1. Again, like you said, I was entertained by all of these matches just because they had to get all of their things in and have to tell these stories. But I felt bad in a lot of ways for everybody, both Night 1 and Night 2, because you're trying to build all of these things for months, and then they're like, okay,
there you go,
7 minutes, go make it work. And you're, what? We built this up for, there just felt like, especially Night 1, there just felt like there were parts in these matches that were missing. It's like a movie. It's like, man, the start was great, the middle, you've had some parts, but then you jump to the ending. It's like, I felt like there's 5, 6, 7 minutes missing that you're in this plot point that you're trying to tell, and you just jump ahead to this.
Yeah, it felt like you mentioned. I think that watching some of these matches, I'm like, man, we had all this build, and that's all we got. It did feel kind of disappointing. It was good to see Paige come back on Saturday night and team up with Brie Bella, obviously with Nikki being out. The match was fun. I didn't think it was going to go very long, so that wasn't a big shock. But honestly, my biggest shock was Paige is only 33.
Yeah,
she's been gone for almost a year, or almost 10 years, and she's still super young. So maybe we can get a kind of a second wind out of her.
Let's see, those neck injuries were pretty. She didn't do much in AEW. Those neck injuries are pretty crazy. But LA Knight and the Usos beat Austin Theory. Isha Speed sort of helps in that, and then basically all that match was just setting up for Speed to put Logan Paul through a table.
100%, and that was the point of it. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be a big, serious, crazy match. So I think it was fun. You had them all kind of beat up on each other, and then you have the end where they hold Logan Paul on the table and Speed jumps through him. I mean, it was great.
Yeah. Next match, Love Fatu and McIntyre. That was probably It's that and the Gunther Seth Rollins match were the tied for the best match of the night, and again, it was unsanctioned. They did a lot of chairs, a lot of tables. Drew did some flips, which I didn't know Drew. I mean, these guys are massive men doing all of these crazy high spots, and it almost kind of makes you a little afraid. Might be trying a little too hard with some of it, and then on top of that, they did all that with no blood.
That was impressive.
Good. Yeah.
And I remember when we had watched SummerSlam, all of us together, and there was I don't remember, I think it was a steel cage match between Fatu and Solo.
It's awful.
And it was so because we were like, oh, dude, we're going to get Jacob Fatu locked in a steel cage. What's going to happen? That's what we should have seen. Yeah. And we got to see him go crazy, just two big guys beat each other up. And I think it was a great match, honestly. It didn't need blood. I was one of those people that's like, I hope they don't, PG it up too much for ESPN.
You can't go blood on ESPN.
Yeah. So
even though this was ESPN 2, ESPN was Night 2.
But. Yeah. So I didn't think they cleaned it up too much, but I mean, I think both nights on ESPN they definitely gave you something to kind of want to say pay for ESPN Unlimited and see what went on with Night 1 and 2.
The women's tag match, the Fatal 4-Way, I thought this was just going to be awful.
It was
pleasantly surprised.
It was watchable.
It was very watchable.
Yeah.
It was very well organized. You put Nia in a match, it just slows everything down. But she had very little to do. Everyone pulled their weight. There was a lot of different things going on. It felt like it wasn't a cluster. It felt like a pretty good, well organized match. And then again, it's one of those like they didn't have a whole lot of time. They gave them, I think it was like 9 minutes.
Yeah.
9 minutes to do a fatal 4-way, and they made chicken salad out of chicken. You know what?
Yeah,
like, they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, they weren't given much time, but I would say everybody obviously hit their spots well, and there isn't anything that I can pick out of that match. It was just blew me away. But there wasn't also that one botch that we come back and talk about the next day and be like, why did they even try this? I think it went well, and it definitely kind of got me hopped up a little bit for the Becky and AJ fight that was to come later.
Yeah, and which that match was what it was. We got out of it what we got out of it. Again, Becky always has to win with some sort of chicanery.
Yes,
there at the end, which. The match was going good because I'm sitting there with everyone I'm watching. I'm like, guys, this isn't bad.
Yeah,
this has actually been pretty entertaining. Like they only need to go about 7-8 minutes. With their age and their skill abilities, and it was heading to a good climax. The fans were getting into it, and then like when do you see a ref take a bump like that and just kind of stumble over to the corner? Most of the time, they're laying exhausted, knocked out for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. I would say I knew as soon as I saw Jessica Carr in the ring that was going to have something to do with it. So, that one was a little bit too forecasted, but I honestly don't think it took too much away from the match. It wasn't like a whole huge crazy run-in that changed everything. I mean, I think it was kind of leading to that the whole time.
Yeah. Then after that, Gunther and Seth Rollins, man.
What a match.
Best night of the match. Braun Breaker comes back. Almost killed himself twice on those spears. The first one, like his head and his bot, like I'm like, oh my gosh, he's going to go head first, and that hits him with an amazing spear. The second one,
missed.
He whiffed.
Yeah, he missed so bad.
I'm like, Seth's not even moving, bro. Like that's the easiest spear of your life. You're going downhill. You got all the momentum. He missed it, but like he comes back, which I think we all thought was going to happen.
Yep.
But man, that match delivered. Gunther kind of stepped his game up because Seth likes to go at a different pace, and Seth, they had great chemistry. It was a great match.
It kind of felt like the beginning of it. It kind of felt like that Brock versus Seth match at 32, I think. The one who came out as the Beast Slayer. Yeah. It felt like that because Gunther came out, hit the ground running. I love the intros too. Like I loved the Seth coming in with the smoking jacket and the black contacts it was fun. And then obviously, two of the best workers you have in your business nowadays, and they put on a show. It wasn't the longest match of all time. Obviously, I think they could have put on a 20 or 25 minute classic, but
they gave him 15, right?
They gave him 15, they did.
There wasn't a slow moment in this.
No, it was fun from start to finish, from bell to bell. Unfortunately, so I got to watch Not One a little bit later, and when you sign into ESPN, it just launched you straight into the pay-per-view. And not only was that the match, I just see Braun Breaker standing there, and I'm like, oh, well, okay, well, I know what's happening. I was about to say, I called that to be the big shock at the end of the match, but it was kind of a little upsetting seeing it, but it didn't take anything away from the match.
Women's world title after that, Liv Morgan beat Stephanie Verker. When I was talking earlier, like some of these matches are like a really good movie, but like when you go from there's like you're trying to get from point Y to point Z, but they completely eliminated point Y at a time, and then like here comes all the chicanery, here comes the rest of the Judgment Day, all the girls, and then like boom boom, Stephanie Verker gets pinned.
Yeah.
Like, there's normally another 5 minutes or so after that. That's like the great movie, but they edited this for time. Because Paramount or whatever corporate told them to.
Yeah,
like that.
That
felt
like
like there was a chunk missing.
Yeah, and you know what? You hit the nail on the head, because that's right. They came out, and then 20 seconds later it's over, and it's like, wow, that was it. Usually like you mentioned,
especially the way she done like.
Was that it, really?
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's where you're going with that?
I was like, well, okay. But again, I think that this was part one of a multi-part rivalry. I think we're going to get them at Backlash, and maybe Stephanie wins it back at another point. But I'm happy Liv Morgan is getting her time to shine because she's been one of the best over the past 4 or 5 years, and being one of the final couple in the Rumble every year and finally getting your win, and then to be able to take it to WrestleMania and get a win. I'm happy for her. I
think of Punk Roman. And that match was the best built of all the WrestleMania matches, which makes you sad because it just felt like they edited something out of what they were going to do because they gave them like, all right, girls, you only get 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And this felt like a 15-minute match that only got 9. There's like...
Well, it felt like, sometimes they give the wrestlers the option. It's like, hey, don't have my music or whatever. Yeah. We'll just give us longer time in the ring. And it felt like they didn't have the choice, that the entrances made up it felt like the entrances made up a quarter of the show.
Yeah, they did. They did on top of Hulk Hogan's documentary.
Yes, that we got reminded of every commercial break.
4-minute commercial breaks. Like, from a former TV news guy,
that's like, long.
What can you do?
Yeah. Well, because I would say, aren't normal commercial breaks two and a half minutes? Yeah.
Can you imagine, I can't imagine what it felt like sitting in the crowd because I was thinking, because we know what TV timeouts are because they put them up on the clock at Tennessee games, and that's starting to go countrywide. So, you can sort of anticipate it. But if you're a wrestling fan and you have a documentary and then now you get 4 minutes of ads, what
are we doing?
And you get 7-minute matches.
Yeah. What are we paying for?
I paid thousands of dollars for this.
I would say the people, because not one of them was the one they were advertising the big sale for.
Yeah.
I still feel like I would have gotten gypped if that was the case.
Then Bianca Belair comes out. Everyone's like, we've been wondering where she was. The moment she walked out, Mike, I went, she looks different. Yeah. She looks bigger. And she's walking down and hits me and goes, she's going to tell us she's pregnant.
She's pregnant, yeah.
Because she just looked different. She looked like a little fuller in the face, and then she had this giant thing on. And I'm like, nah, she's pregnant.
Well, I would say, and I was watching it with a girl, and she goes, "Oh, she's glowing, she's pregnant." And I was like, "Oh, all right, we'll see." And it's we've been now a year without Bianca, and she's one of the more talented. And I would say it looks like we're probably going to be at least another 8 to 10 months without her, which stinks. But hopefully she can make a comeback, and we get a good story started with her and Jade and Naomi, because obviously those three are just waiting for their WrestleMania moment.
Was it me or did night one just feel the fans and everything just felt dead?
Yeah, I would say I think,
and they I'll give them credit though, they were not into the start of any match, but they built and got better as the night as every match would go on. Night 2 though, Mike, that was a hot crowd.
Yes,
right from the get go.
Well, and they gave them probably one of the best matches at Mania to start with Oba and Brock. It's the one that was definitely the most anticipated, and didn't go very long. I think it was 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, something like that.
They barely got the 5 minutes,
but it was perfect.
It was.
I mean, Brock came out, was hitting him hard, trying to do everything he could. Hit him with an F5, and you could see Oba. He didn't no sell it, but he got back up pretty quick. Hit him with his stuff 1, 2, 3, and we'll go to the house. I mean, and then does Brock Lesnar retire? Is that what you? That's not what I took it as. I took that as...
Well, no, I took it as him retiring.
I took it as it was his last WrestleMania. I think they might play a little story with it.
Okay, I see.
But if it was the end, definitely... WWE tries to capitalize off of retirement matches, so it feels kind of weird. Well, but it does feel very Brock to be like, hey, I'm not going to make a big deal about it before, but that was it.
But it's Brock Lesnar. He never turns down money. Good for him. If someone's offering him money, he'll take it. But the way I interpreted that was it. And you're right. Brock is not I'm going to announce my retirement. I'm going to go out the way I want to. That's just how he is, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I've loved his transformation from being just an absolute jerk to being like a good team player, a guy that's really kind of wanting to put over the next generation of people, and a guy that's embraced his role and just embraced the fans a whole lot more, where he wasn't that way in his first couple runs with WWE. So I'm happy that Brock has turned a new leaf with all of that, and it also makes you go like, okay, what else is coming up with this Vince McMahon stuff?
I would say, because obviously stuff started coming up, and then he just retires out of nowhere when it looked like maybe something was coming up at SummerSlam with Gunther. not sure where that's going to go now.
We'll see. We're here. I heard some stuff that Gunther might be involved with one of the matches. The winner of one of the matches we'll talk about later. But then I predicted it. It's going to be the best match of all of WrestleMania.
You called it, yeah.
It had the most action. I would put it second place now after the main event here. But my goodness, did this match deliver? Just boom, 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 one after the other. So much fun in that Intercontinental.
And I looked at that, and it was kind of the way I watched the matches, to watch it with people that don't watch wrestling a whole bunch, because this one didn't have a story going into it. It was Penta's the champion. Here's 5 guys that won it too. And it's just utter destruction. I mean, you had, I kind of called the Mexican Destroyer on the ladder because he had done that at Money in the Bank, and got to break that out again. You had Javon do the OG cutter off to Rusev on the ladder. I mean, any big spot you wanted, you got in that match.
Yeah, and then Ray doing the pop up.
Oh man,
to Rusev on the ladder. I give Rusev credit. Big guy that took 2 huge bumps.
Yes.
In this match.
Oh, and JD McDonough. Oh my goodness. I mean, that dude is just a punching bag in any match he's in. Yeah. So, props to the way the ESPN worded it in their review to JD McDonough's ability to survive everything he went through in this match. Yeah. That's the perfect way to word it.
Yeah, and everybody got some good stuff in. It was so much fun. I had so much fun with that match. Then it was actually Sami Zayn, Trick Williams wins it. It was serviceable.
Yeah.
It was probably the worst match of the night.
But honestly, it may have been probably the second or third best match on Night 1. So I would say Night 2 was really good. This it wasn't a bad match, but it's probably the one maybe damper you could put on a great show. But it wasn't a bad match at all.
It wasn't a bad match at all. And then Finn and Dom, that needed. You've been building this for 2 years.
Yeah, that one needed way more time.
3 or 4, maybe 5 more minutes to build something to it.
Yeah, I did like the beginning, where you could tell Dom did not want to get in the ring with him, and for people that hadn't seen the Demon, it was a good introduction to it, and it gave you everything you wanted in that match. I mean, obviously, wasn't as long, wasn't maybe as violent. For some reason, they went made it a street fight when
never went into the street.
Yeah, well, and they never they never announced it as a street fight. I didn't see it until the match.
Yeah.
So I would say I must have missed that somewhere.
They
but
didn't do hardly anything. They did some stuff.
They had some stuff with some tables and some kendo sticks and whatnot. Definitely wasn't as violent as I thought, but obviously it was too skinny. It was too smaller guys, kind of that cruiserweight division. So you weren't going to see any crazy big spots.
Women's title match, good. Rhea wins, thankfully. Maybe the best match Jade Cargill's ever had.
That's what I was just about to say, because the thing was that she wasn't a great wrestler. That was a good match. She did a really good job. There was a lot of storytelling in there.
Yes.
I mean, that may have been if you take out the ladder match, may have been the second best net match of the night. Yeah. I mean, they did some good storytelling. It had a good finish to it.
It's what you were hoping for on Saturday that we didn't get. They didn't edit. It didn't feel like anything was edited out. You had some chicanery there at the end, which was good. Even though, why did Io come down with just strapless top?
And start doing flips and stuff.
Like she immediately has a
somewhat.
Someone used.
Again, I was watching WrestleMania, and why is she doing with some women? And they're like, why is she doing flips and tube tops? That's not going to work. And you could tell every 2 seconds was having to fix that. But again, that was what you thought was going to happen. Right. Then two fight. One of them gets the upper hand. The other one's friends come out. Then the other friend comes out, and then you have the finish. Yeah. That was exactly what we got, and they performed it well.
Yeah, that was the bet. For a build that was getting really stale, really stagnant, that's the best possible outcome, best possible match you could have with that. And then the nightcap, man. Punk and Roman hit it out of the park. They really did.
I honestly was left speechless afterwards because it was perfect. Mm-hmm. It was up there with the HBK and Undertaker from WrestleMania 25 or 26. Yeah. It was just two of the best in the business. Mm-hmm. Go out there and tell a beautiful story that didn't need any run-ins, it didn't need any interference. Some people were mad about the chair shot and it being a no DQ match. It's a championship. They're not gonna, I would say what because everybody's like, why did they let it keep going? What do you want a DQ in a championship match 5 minutes in?
Final match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I would say that would have made it all terrible. So it was a great match, and I mean, the story they told prevailed. The whole thing was CM Punk, he's too old. We saw at the end, he kind of gave out. The whole thing with Roman, he couldn't win without his family.
Yeah.
He was the only person out there other than CM Punk. Beautiful storytelling, beautiful match. And Roman said in the pro show that he's going to be around this summer, that he's not going to be a part-timer. And if that's the case, we could be in for a big summer.
Yeah, and the first rumor I'm hearing is it's him and Gunther.
Oh yeah.
That might be the feud right off the get-go, but I was also hearing Obafemi might be the feud right off the get-go. Obviously,
I don't think that's going to be the next one up. I think it's setting up towards maybe Oba wins King of the Ring, and then you have them at SummerSlam. But hey, listen, they were the final two in the Royal Rumble, Gunther and Roman Reigns. That would be a great feud.
That would be with the promos and everything, and it'd be a good match. It was just so much better than the finale of night one, which we haven't gotten to yet because it just
so confusing.
It's very confusing. Pat's there to start. He hits Cody before the bell rings. There's all this.
And Jelly Roll puts him through a table. I mean,
by the way, the table that didn't explode that way for
ever. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't think that was supposed to happen because I would say the table is supposed to collapse, not explode.
And then, the match starts. The ref gets hurt. Here comes Pat. Doesn't get the 1, 2, 3.
Well, and it's supposed to be down there for a fast count. It was the slowest count of the night.
And then, Pat gets up. Randy's going to get ready to RKO Cody again. RKO's Pat. Cody. The
exact same way the chamber ended, but backwards. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and you're like,
huh? Yeah. What? Because
what are we doing?
And there were some reports that were coming out that Randy had hurt his back leading up to the show, and so maybe, and I heard that had caused them to kind of change onto the fly to Cody winning, because it felt like the story didn't go anywhere. It was Randy's got to win to save WWE, and then he lost, and it's like, oh well, Cody wins.
Yeah, which the way Randy RKOing Pat, which I'm glad I called, but I thought it'd be after he rose the belt up, and at the end I'm like, okay. I'm okay with Cody winning. I hated the build to this. I would hate Randy to be a champion with Pat McAfee standing right there.
And I think it probably had a little bit of that to do with it as well.
I'm like, okay, at this point, I'm okay with Cody winning. I really didn't want him to, but I'm not upset at all that Cody won.
And if we could give us a Cody versus Randy at Backlash that doesn't have any celebrities involved in it, and then Randy wins the title there, that would work. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but night 2, thankfully.
Yes.
No run-ins, no chicanery, no nothing, and it was perfect.
It was a great match,
Great match. Well, looking forward to what we have coming up next here in the world of wrestling, and we'll be back here once again tomorrow. We'll recap everything. Hopefully, we'll get some pictures of as far as district tournaments, who's going to host what will be a little bit clear by this time tomorrow, Mike. So we'll see you guys in. For Michael Marks, I'm AJ Good. This is X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.